big impression I got from seeing J-Hope was he was born to be on stage. That man, his destiny was always to become a star. Hello! Hi groupies! Welcome back to Form of Therapy. I am the video channel producer. You can call me PD. And today we are doing a special listening party for BTS's new Persona Map the Soul Persona EP. So BTS is back after a hiatus and going on a world tour. Their last comeback was Idol, right? And then after that they embarked on a tour, and it seems they've gotten a good amount of rest, and now they're back. I filmed a Boy With Love reaction this morning. We're currently streaming right now live on Sming, and we are joined by 1,038 people. But yeah, we're currently recording this for YouTube for future playback, so by that time it's already gonna be out. In terms of Boy With Love, if you haven't seen my reaction, I really liked Boy With Love. In fact, my only hiccup was that I kind of wish that Halsey was in it more, and people are telling me that the album version is actually different from the music video version, and that Halsey actually sings more in the album version. So, usually we don't listen to the title tracks when we do these listening parties, but given that it's going to be different, we're going to listen to the title track for this as well, okay? And if you want to check out more BTS goodness, check out the WIT app. It's a brand new K-pop community app, and if you want to get into BTS, check out news, info, and share your love for BTS with other fans, be sure to check out WIT. Now, let's get into the listening party. We're going to be starting off with the intro.
Yo, 나는 누구인가 평생 물어본 질문 아마 평생 정답은 찾지 못할 그 질문.
Oh, this is from the video. Okay. I've seen the video for this. 사실 난 너무 좋아 근데 조금 불편해 나는 내가 개지 돼지인지 뭔지도 아직 잘 모르겠는데 남들이 와서 진주 먹거리를 꺼내 예전보다 앉아 죽고서 소환했던 슈퍼히로 이제 진짜 된 것 같아 근데 갈수록 뭐 말들이 많어 누군 달리라고 누군 멈춰서라 해 얘는 숲을 보라고 걔는 들곳을 보라 해내 그림자라는 막소리 이라 쓰고 불렀네 개그가 되고 나서 망설인 적이 없었네 무대 아래던 나를 조명 아래던 자꾸 나타나 지라기처럼 뜨겁게 자꾸 날 노려보네 야 이 짓을 왜 시작한 건지 벌써 잊었냐 넌 그냥 들어주는 네가 있단 게 막 좋았던 거야 가끔은 그냥 싹 다 헛소리 같아 샤면 나오는 거 알지 시기 같아 나 따위가 무슨 뮤직 나 따위가 무슨 truth 나 따위가 무슨 소명 나 따위가 무슨 뮤즈 내가 아는 나의 흠어점 그게 사실 내 전부 세상은 사실 아무 관심 없어 나의 서춤 지실리지도 않은 후회들과 매일 밤 싱그럽게 뒤굴고 돌릴 길 없는 시간들이 습관처럼 비틀어도 그때마다 날 또 이렇게 세운 것 최초의 질문 내 이름 석자 Halsey 누나.
Who the hell am I? Tell me all your names, baby. Do you wanna die or do you wanna go? Do you wanna fly? What's it show? What's it drink? Do you think you lie? Oh shit. I don't know, man. But I know one thing. Yeah, my name is 내가 기억하고 사람들이 아는 날 토로하기 위해 내가 스스로 만들어낸 나의 날 속여왔을지도 뻥쳐왔을지도 부끄럽지 않아 이게 내 영혼의 지도 You're myself 넌 절대로 너의 혼돈을 내지 마 따뜻히도 차갑게도 될 필요 없으니까 가끔은 위선적이어도 위약적이어도 이 내가 걸어두고 싶은 내 방향의 첩도 내가 되고 싶은 나 사람들이 원하는 나 네가 사랑하는 나 또 내가 빚어내는 나 웃고 있는 나 가끔은 울고 있는 나 지금도 매순 가사라 숨쉬는 persona Who the hell am I? I just wanna go I just wanna fly I just wanna give you all the voices till I die I just wanna give you all the shoulders when you cry Persona Who the hell am I? I just wanna go I just wanna fly I just wanna give you all the voices till I die I just wanna give you all the shoulders when you cry
So I actually watched the video for that. I filmed a reaction for it. I didn't put it up because I suspected that Big Hit might block it, which they were. They were doing takedowns for it. But just to reiterate what I did say in the reaction, just as a quick recap in case I don't upload video reactions for that. Listening to this outside of the video, this feels way longer than the video was. Like, Just watching this, I guess, without the video and without the visual stimulant, the song actually feels way longer, even though it's only 2:51. It's right under the 3-minute mark. But the overall heavy guitar sound is really cool. And I feel like this is a very reference-heavy song, especially given the music video. So it's kind of hard to talk about it just purely from a, I guess, musical sense. It almost sounds very similar to like a cypher, which we haven't gotten in a while. But I feel like it's also been a while since we've gotten an intro where it was really loud and exciting. Maybe Euphoria might be an exception. But either way, I feel like it's been a lot more celestial and very moody the past few comebacks, but this one is pretty exciting. Like I said, it's hard to talk about it without the video because it is so, I feel like, video heavy. But let's just jump right into Boy With Love. Holy crap, this song is 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Boy With Love. That's insane. Was it this long for the actual music video one? So I have only listened to this song the one time when I reacted to the music video this morning. So I'm not completely familiar with it, and obviously this version is different from the music video one, but let's see. This guitar riff is so funky, I love it. Oh! Halsey comes in way quicker. In the music video, I think Halsey doesn't come in until the second chorus, or I could be wrong. Yeah, she definitely has way more lines in this one. Also, I feel like I am appreciating J-Hope way more as a rapper. Everyone's talking about Suga's part. For me, I think J-Hope's part is actually pretty phenomenal.
나도 모르게 힘이 들어가기도 했어 높아버린 스카 커져버린 헛 때론 도망치게 해달라며 기도했어 너의 상처는 나의 상처 깨달았을 때 나 다짐했던 걸 네가 준 이 그 후세 나에게로 태양이 아닌 너에게로 Let me fly
like I said, I reacted to Boy With Love, and I have my own comments about the song that you can watch in the reaction for that when it's out. But to add on, I guess, for the people watching this after they've seen my Boy With Love reaction, I went on a whole thing about artists sort of capitalizing on each other's fame, sort of using each other, but it's an equivalent exchange, you know? Halsey is using BTS, but BTS is also using Halsey. It's like the hopes of like if Halsey collaborates with BTS, hey, maybe BTS fans will check out Halsey's stuff. And if BTS collaborates with Halsey, maybe Halsey fans will check out BTS's stuff. Like there's a handful of people who are like against Halsey working with BTS, saying she's using them. But it's like, that's what collaborations are. Collaborations aren't like free, you know? Someone's got to gain something out of it. But I feel like there is a genuineness to it. The way they're handling this collaboration, it doesn't feel tacked on. It feels very carefully handled, and it feels very respectful. And I feel like that's been the case with a lot of BTS American collabs. I felt like the RM Wale collab was really awesome, and I thought it was pretty equal and on par. I don't understand why they did not use this version for the music video. I mean, I'm sure they have their own reasons. Whatever the reason is, I like this version a lot better. The studio version is a lot better. Having Halsey integrated more into the song and hearing her vocals is way better. And I think she fits in very seamlessly with this. It's very rare that you hear a boy group song with a female feature, right? I think the last one I can remember is GOT7's One and Only You. It was GOT7 and Hyorin, and it's amazing. I feel like it's such an interesting change up, and it feels so refreshing to actually hear the blend of different voices like that. And I think it's like kind of what we want from co-ed collabs. And people are saying that Halsey sang in Korean. I couldn't really hear it, mainly because I feel like the harmonization was actually so on point. I was like, is that Jimin or Jungkook, or is that Halsey? You know, it's like, I commented on my reaction for the music video as well. I feel like Jimin and Jungkook have such high, thin, pretty voices. It's such a great harmonization. It's kind of hard to tell the difference between Halsey and them in certain parts. Certain parts, it's very obviously Halsey, but then when it gets to speaking the Korean parts, it's kind of hard to discern between the two. I think that is really impressive, and I hope they play the studio version on the radio, because I'll say this. What I really respect about BTS's global campaign with their promotions is that they are unapologetically Korean. They have never changed or swayed their style to fit American standards. They didn't make a song that was all in English just to promote in America. Like, they're still them. You know, the process of how they make their songs has not changed. They still sing in Korean. And there's the occasional English ad-libs, but those English ad-libs are the same type of English ad-libs that are in every K-pop song, right? It's not just BTS. It's in every K-pop song. And so I've always really appreciated that. And to see an American artist make the effort to try and sing in Korean because it's a fucking Korean group, that is fucking metal. You know? I think that's really cool. I think people do not make that effort. I think if you think of most American and Korean collabs, it's probably going to be like one person singing in Korean and then the American person singing in English. And, you know, she does sing in English here, but she actually, I feel like, makes the effort to kind of like have that cultural bridge of like, hey, you guys are trying to like sing in English, I should try to sing in Korean too. And there is that respect there that I really, really think is authentic. So, you know, people saying like, you know, Halsey's using BTS or whatever, I definitely don't think that's the case. If this is the extent she went to, I mean, not just learn the choreo, but also try and sing in Korean, I think it really shows an authenticity. So I think that's really cool. I could rant about this all day, but let's get into Mikrokosmos. Oh wait, but it sounds like the opening to like an indie, like an indie coming of age song. But hold on, there's a very subtle bass line. I really like that.
let it shine.
이 밤의 표정이 이토록 더 아름다운 건
Oh, Jimin's part was so beautiful.
별들도 불빛도 아닌 우리 때문일 거야. You got me 난 너를 보며 꿈을 꿔 I got you 칠흑 같은 밤들 속 서로 겹은 서로의 빛 같은 말을 하고 있었던 거야 우린 가장 깊은 밤에 더 빛나는 별빛 가장 깊은 밤에 더 빛나는 별빛 밤이 깊을수록 더 빛나는 별빛
한 사람의 하나의 역사 한 사람의 하나의 별 75개의 빛으로 빛나는 75가지의 world
75가지의 삶 도시의 야경은 어쩌면 또 다른 도시의 밤 각자만의 꿈 let us shine 넌 누구보다
This is an interesting blend. That angry rapping mixed with this very lighthearted, very breathy instrumental is very interesting.
저 어둠도 달빛도 아닌 우리 때문일 거야 You got me 난 너를 보며 꿈을 꿔 I got you 칠흑 같은 밤들 속 서로 가본 서로의 빛 같은 말을 하고 있었던 거야 우린 가장 깊은 밤에 더 빛나는 별빛 가장 깊은 밤에 더 빛나는 별빛 밤이 깊을수록 더 빛나는 별빛 도시의 불 도시의 별 어릴 적 올려본 밤 하늘에 난 떠올려 사람이란 불 사람이란 별로 가득한 바로 이곳에서 we shine You got me 난 너를 보면서 모셔 I got you 칠흑 같은 밤들 속에 Shine, dream, smile Oh let us light up the night 우린 우리대로 빛나 Shine, dream, smile Oh let us light up the night 우리 그 자체로 빛나
Probably one of my favorite BTS B-sides now. Hands down, easily. In the live stream chat right now, there's a little bit of an argument going on. Some people saying it sounds like the 1975. Some people say it doesn't sound like the 1975. If you're not aware, the 1975 is a band. Let me tell you, it doesn't sound like the 1975, but let me tell you exactly why you're comparing it to the 1975. It's because the genre of the instrumental of this, it's like that alternative indie pop sound. Like, even if it's not that particular group's sound, it's the type of bands like the 1975 Bleachers and etc. that make music like this. This song, the reason I love this song, I like music that feels a little bit philosophical in nature. And this song feels a little bit larger than life. Not to sound like an indie cliche, but like the song has such a very big, airy sort of feeling. Something you would see in an indie movie where feeling infinite. That moment of youth where you forget like problems exist and you're just happy and it's like that brief momentary time. Maybe you're watching a movie, like for the duration of that movie, for the duration of those 2 hours, it is just pure happiness and joy. Someone says, like Love, Simon? Yes, very much. It has a very coming of age type of vibe. It has a progression in the song where it starts from like this trickling little small like very beautiful tingling sound, and it becomes like this very loud, emotional, but still happy and very grand vibe when it ends, you know? I really love music like this. Easily one of my top favorite BTS songs. This is why I like BTS. BTS, they are not fucking afraid to experiment with music. I feel like the vocalists shine a lot here. I feel like Jungkook, Jin, V, and Jimin, they are fantastic in this. But you know who really shined? Was it Suga? there was a point in the song where there's just like this just like rapid fire, sort of like an angry, visceral rapping. It was a great contrast to the song that added a sort of dynamic tone to the song where I feel like if the song had a progression, a journey throughout the song, it felt like the middle ground was like this sort of the age of like rebellious youth, you know? I thought that was super dope. All right, we're gonna move on to the next song. This is Make It Right. What is he doing? I mean, that's V, right? That's gotta be V, right? Okay, that's Jimin. Why are they singing like that? It's kind of like I don't know, it's kind of like they're gritting their teeth while they're singing. It's a little bit sexy. This progression is... I'm aware that Ed Sheeran wrote this. It's very American. I was hoping for a little bit of a twist with the chorus. The verses are great, the build-up is great, but I feel like the chorus doesn't have a big enough payoff. I'm hoping that throughout the progression of the song, maybe at the end it'll pay off. Ooh. Wow! What a smooth transition between rappers. Oh my god. Someone in the chat said this music is aggressively Western. This is such an American... I think they added in like an extra synth that was kind of like echoing, but it's not there anymore. Ooh, Jimin's voice is saving this song for me. Oh my god, don't tell me it's over. Oh my god. Okay, this is very reminiscent of their collaboration with the Chainsmokers. Let me explain to you why. The production of this is so inherently Western. Like, it's very typical. It has that lack of a drop that's really popular in Western music right now. But the actual singing and the lyrical structure and the actual songwriting is very Korean. You know what I mean? Yes, Ed Sheeran wrote the song, like he worked on the actual production of it, but I can't imagine Ed Sheeran singing like that. I can't imagine any Western artist singing like that. You think Ariana Grande is going to be pulling off like that very breathy singing that Jimin is doing? No. Like, this song is still very inherently unique to BTS,
And the fact that it is actually a very Western production sound makes it unique to BTS as well, because that's not really what they do. So that mix-up is very interesting. Kind of reminds me of, like I said, Best of Me, which is the Chainsmokers collaboration. That collaboration they did, even Best of Me, right? It felt very much like, I felt like, oh, this is a very Western production. Yeah, of course Chainsmokers made this. But even then, they somehow made it very much BTS. I felt like the rappers really saved that one, and I feel like for this one, the vocalists really save it for me. Jimin and V and Jungkook and Jin are pulling off some weird but sexy, crazy vocal work in this one. RM's rapping, like really cool tone rapping in Best of Me, was really charismatic. And then fucking Suga doing that like crazy sing rapping in Best of Me, that was just like, what the fuck, you know? Nobody in the Chainsmokers, Drew Taggart, who does all the singing in Chainsmokers, Drew Taggart's never gonna sing like what Suga did, right? Even though the production is very Western and average, I feel like BTS makes it unique because of their songwriting, because of their unique Korean style, because you will never see Ed Sheeran doing what BTS just did. They're not going to sing like them. So yeah, the collaborations like this are always really unique and interesting for me, because the fact that they took a very Western beat, I feel like a very average beat, don't get me wrong. I feel like it's a very average instrumental. And I feel like the only reason it's interesting is because of BTS. It's almost like a thought experiment at that point. It's sort of like a creative flex. Hey, can you make an interesting song out of a really generic instrumental? And BTS is like, challenge accepted, you know? I felt like the singing here was really interesting. I felt like Jimin was hitting high notes that would make most people's vocal cords just like rip apart. And what was that opening they did with the very singing under their breath? But it was almost like they were singing through gritted teeth. And it was like kind of like really sexy and a little bit sultry, but at the same time, not sexy. The song has a very nostalgic feel to it. It's kind of sad, but it's also a little bit like, it's a happy kind of sad. It's a little bit nostalgic mixed with melancholy. The song is very cold and very light and very thin. I feel like the instrumental is anyways. And I feel like there's something very comforting about that. Bittersweet. That's a great word. Yes. Ella Bean. That is a great description for the song. It is bittersweet. Next song is Home. Ooh, okay. All right. This feels like sort of like an old school BTS vibe. Never mind. It still has that sort of like jazzy East Coast Brooklyn type feeling to it, but again, Jimin starting off the song is not what I expected. It's got a very old school hip hop vibe. Spanish? One of the very few Spanish words I know. Mi casa. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Ah, what does that remind me of? Oh my god! Holy fuck! Please, Suga, give me that in a title track!
수 있게 그때 말할게 yeah, yeah. 오랜만에 연애 가사 With you I just feel rich 다녀왔어 하늘 가사 켜두고 난 너의 switch yeah. 말을 안 해도 편안하잖아 네가 있어서 나의 집이 된 거야 You know I want that You know you got that You love, you love, you love I miss that You love, you love, you love I want that You touch, you touch, you touch I need that La 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 love it
Ooh, Home is a very, very fun song. I like it. I think it has a very throwback hip hop vibe to it, but the incorporation of the two Spanish words, mi casa, it adds, I guess, a little bit of a different flavor to the song. I feel like it kind of changes things. I feel like nothing else really in the structure of the song or the instrumental actually like lends itself to most Latin music, but actually I feel like that makes it more interesting, I suppose, when a lot of K-pop songs do something that incorporates a Latin inspiration. It's kind of always the same thing. It's always like Spanish guitar. It's always got a similar vibe to it, right? But this one is a lot more chill. It doesn't play into the typical trope of what a Latin-inspired K-pop song sounds like. I have been getting sort of tried of the Latin-inspired K-pop genre because sort of everyone is doing it, but I feel like this is a very interesting change-up. Someone says, reminds me of Bruno Mars. I see the Bruno Mars influence. Bruno Mars is a very old-school hip-hop, sort of like a Streets of Brooklyn type of vibe. I think the song that probably reminds you of Bruno Mars is That's What I Like. The Bruno Mars song, That's What I Like, it goes, na 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 na. And I feel like the rhythm of this is kind of similar to that. It's sort of like within that sort of similar world. Let's check out Jamais Vu. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
tou쳐버린 것 같아 너 화가 나 보여 아른대는 game over 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 만약 게임이라면 또 로드하면 되겠지만 I guess I gotta deal with this real world 에이 차라리 게임이면 좋겠지 너무 아프니까 I need to heal my melody But I'm another star 완벽하지 못했던 나를 탓해 Breaking my head, breaking my step Always 그저 잘하고 싶었고 깨지고 싶었는데 Please give me a remedy 멈춰버린 심장을 뛰게 해 Remedy 이제 어떻게 해야 해 날 살려줘 다시 기회를 줘 Please give me a remedy a melody 오직 내게만 남겨질 그 memory 이쯤에서 그만하면 꺼버리면 모든 게 다 편해질까 괜찮지만 괜찮지 않아 익숙하다고 혼자 말했지만 늘 처음인 것처럼 부족한 게임만 맞아 나 컨트롤 못하지 계속 아파 커싱 자과 오만 가지 내 노래 가사 멈칫 하나 말 한마디 다 내 미시감에 무서워지고 또 늘 도망가려 해뻗잡네 그래도 너가 내 그림자 커져가 내 삶과 넌 네 cosign So 내 remedy your remedy yeah Please give me a remedy 멈춰버린 심장을 뛰게 할 remedy 이제 어떻게 해야 해 날 살려줘 다시 기회를 줘 Please give me a remedy 또다시 뛰고 또 넘어지고 Honestly 수없이 다시 반복된대도 난 또 뛸 거라고 Remedy 멈춰버린 심장을 뛰게 할 Remedy 이제 어떻게 해야 해 날 살려줘 다시 기회를 줘 Please give me a remedy 멈춰버린 심장을 뛰게 해 Remedy 이제 어떻게 해야 해 날 살려줘 다시 기회를 줘 I won't give up
You know, I generally hate songs like this. I don't like slow songs. I don't even like mid-tempo songs like this. I don't care for songs that are kind of musically and instrumentally simple and, in some words, boring. And I would say this falls under that category of songs, but I loved this. I think what makes this different, I think what makes me actually like, not just like this, actually love with this and actually resonate with this and be emotionally sort of moved by this is the fact that BTS, I'm going to be very frank, BTS is not my favorite group, but I think vocally BTS is the most interesting group. BTS has the most interesting types of singers, and they have the most interesting type of rappers that you could have a song that's slow and relatively simple like this and rely completely on its singers and their vocal ability alone. And I think BTS is one of the very few groups that can actually pull that off, you know? For example, a group that I like more than BTS is 17. I don't even like 17's slower music. For me, it's like, yeah, they're all great singers, but, you know, I just feel like there's, you know, it doesn't work for me. Something about it. But there's something about like BTS where I feel like, what was this, Jungkook and Jin? There's something about Jin's voice where I know that Jin didn't start out as a singer. I know originally he wanted to be an actor. And I know that Jin is not as good a singer as the others. But within Jin not being as good a singer as the others, I think Jin has his own color to his voice. I think over the years, Jin has evolved and he has learned his limitations. And I feel like Jin has grown within that branch. You know what I mean? And that's sort of the beauty of people writing for their own group, sort of the beauty of having in-house producers, because people learn what's good for each member, you know? I'm sure when BTS started out, they were giving Jin lines that he couldn't do or whatever, that was out of his range or etc. But after all these years, not only has Jin gotten better, but I feel like the company and the producers are giving him songs where he excels. You know, Jin is a good singer, of course, don't get me wrong. Within the vocal team, I would say that Jin is not as strong, but obviously, you know, he could fucking sing circles around me. There's sort of like a lower register to him, and then Jungkook sings much higher, and they have a great contrast to each other. And then what the fuck was J-Hope? You know, when I first discovered BTS, the person that stood out to me the most in the rap team was RM. And quickly I noticed Suga, and then Suga was my favorite rapper for a really long time. And ever since like after Idol, I don't remember what song it was, I have been noticing J-Hope more and more, not just in terms of talent, but even in terms of visuals. When I really didn't know BTS, I thought, oh, J-Hope, yeah, that guy looks like he's the vocalist of the team because he looks all sweet, he smiles all the time. Little did I know he's the main dancer, he's the fucking rapper. And I kind of never understood it. I was like, this seems like a paradox. Even a few months ago, I just saw a photo of J-Hope and I'm like, oh damn. I tweeted my friend who's a J-Hope stan. I was like, I get it now. And she's like, finally. And now this is that moment for me in terms of J-Hope's vocal talent. No offense to RM and Suga, but I felt like RM and Suga had to kind of move away to let J-Hope shine as a rapper, because I feel like in any BTS song, me personally, I always feel like RM gets the longest parts, and then Suga gets the second longest parts, and then J-Hope kind of gets the least. And not having them there, J-Hope did like the typical angry parts that Suga or RM does. And I feel like J-Hope got to sort of shine. And, you know, obviously J-Hope had Hope World, but those weren't BTS songs. Those were more like the colors of J-Hope. Those were songs personal to him. But J-Hope within the context of BTS songs, I feel like it really pushed his limits in terms of rapping. And I feel like he really got to shine. This was a great subunit. I kind of wish... I'm not even thinking like, oh, I want to hear the others now. I'm just straight up thinking, I want to hear them again. They're a great fucking trio. I think their voices all complement each other really well. And I don't know, I think J-Hope kind of might be my favorite rapper in BTS now, which I didn't think I would ever say, but like, this... his verse in Jamais Vu was... I don't know, it was kind of mind-blowing. I thought it was actually like very visceral because the song is very simple and it's very slow, but his rapping was so fast and angry. Felt like an attack. But let's get into the final song. Let's check out Dionysus. This is old school BTS. This is... I'm getting like old school Boy in Love, War of the Hormones, Danger type vibes. What the fuck is this? This is somehow the least weird part in this song.
You ready for this? Are you ready to get hyped up? Cool.
Okay, this is easily the most vocally interesting song on the album. I feel like how they are made to sing, sort of like shrieking up their voices, singing in weird tones. This is the most vocally interesting song on the album, for sure. Really, probably my only criticism about this song has to be I kind of wish that the drums were real. It didn't sound like real drums. They sounded very much like drum pads. And when it comes to rock, I feel like it's got to be real drums, like sort of like the crashing drums to really sell big aspect nature of it. Really dope. It kind of harkened back to, I feel like, old school BTS songs, like I was saying, Boy in Love, or the Hormones, that Danger, No type era. But I feel like listening to their old school style, because they had a mixture of like hip hop and not too much rock, but it had that kind of like rebellious, angry nature of rock. But now with their more modern, obviously, all the singers are way better in terms of singing. All the rappers are better trained, and just the overall production is a lot cleaner. Listening to basically an old school BTS song, but in the modern production, it actually sounds really interesting. It's the culmination of all of their training and all of their years of work and all of their years of practice, and it's led to this moment for this wild, hell of an experimental song. Definitely experimental. Like, the genre isn't so experimental. Like I said, this isn't too crazy for them. Like, I feel like Dionysus, the tone of Dionysus is very much old school BTS, so that's not the wild part. The wild part is the actual songwriting. I feel like the songwriting is crazy mad experimental, and it doesn't fall into traditional K-pop norms, let alone traditional songwriting structure. So I thought that was fucking dope. I think all the ad-libs in this song was fucking awesome. I think the rapping paired really well with the rock sound. Yes, I'm very well aware that J-Hope wrote it, but yeah. Okay, so after listening to the entire EP, I would have to say my favorite. It's pretty hard. I feel like a lot of these songs are they're pretty tied. They're really close. So when I say like something is first and something second, know that it's by a very narrow margin. Number one, and this might change based on multiple like re-listens, but for now, I like Mikrokosmos number one. Second is Jamais Vu. Third is Dionysus, and then fourth is probably Make It Right, and then fifth would be Home. And I'm not including the title track. I always don't include the title track in that ranking, but I like Mikrokosmos the most, probably because I'm a sucker for like the that sort of indie pop genre, and I gotta admit, I'm surprised that Jamais Vu is second. Jamais Vu is not my usual genre, but in another world, if Mikrokosmos wasn't on this, I could see Jamais Vu actually being my favorite song on the album. You think this is a better album than the last one? Well, the last one was a full-length album, so that's not fucking fair. But I will say, one of my favorite BTS EPs, one of my favorite BTS mini albums, might be my favorite. Maybe. I'm not saying it is. I have to obviously listen to it a lot more on repeat to give it a fair comparison. But it might be my favorite. Someone on Twitter said that they did not like the title track, they did not like Boy With Love, and they did not like the album overall. And they felt sad because they're a big fan of BTS and they like everything BTS puts out, but they didn't like this album. And I agree in the sense that I could see why someone doesn't like it. It's heavily experimental, but that's kind of why I love it. It's so heavily experimental. It's so interesting. BTS is not doing the same thing over and over again. And yeah, do you think Jin really shone through this era? I think this era screamed Jin and Jimin and V as well. I felt like those three really fucking shined. Because usually, in my opinion, I think sort of Suga, RM, and Jungkook sort of get the spotlight a lot. But I felt like Jimin and Jin and V kind of killed it. Yeah, by an extension, I would say J-Hope too. J-Hope, not as much as the others. Like, I feel like the others got way more than J-Hope got. But J-Hope too, definitely. Anyways, guys, that was a fantastic listening party. It was kind of mind-blowing. Like I said, it might be one of my favorite BTS mini albums. We'll see after a few listens. But like I said, if you want to check out more BTS goodness, check out the WIT app. You can go on the WIT app and connect with other armies as well. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching this listening party. If you would like to support us, visit us at patreon.com/formatherapy. As little as $2 a month, you get early access to reaction videos and listening parties. And if you can't support us monetarily, that's completely fine. Why don't you go ahead and just click like down below right here. Helps us out with YouTube search algorithm. Go ahead and click subscribe, be notified when we upload a new video, and go ahead and check out all our other videos in the end cards.